him to be doing it so openly and so on. So there's a lot of wonderful stories. Calva O'Donnell had taken over from his son. A lot of stuff going on in there. But when Red Hugh came back from when he got back to Ballyshannon after tragically losing his companion Art, Henry, by the way, didn't go south. He took off and went north, which is interesting. A man of his own, and had an interesting history. Later, let me just fill up a few little details. The little details that are wonderful. As the story of goes with Art and O'Hagan, but it was Hugh O'Neill who had sent this, not the son of Shane, but as we all know, sent sent money probably and O'Hagan down, and somehow managed to get these kids over the wall. Probably bribed the guards, but the relationships with the O'Byrnes and the Burns of Wicklow and the O'Tooles and so on. Anyway, Art died, unfortunately, because what happened was the three of the O'Hagan and Red Hugh had dragged Art with them all of the way, and then Shane told O'Hagan, I guess he was a little older maybe, to go. They were looking down into Glenmalure, but it was terribly winter and snowy, and he told to go down, not McShane, but O'Hagan to go down and get help. And then when they came back up, both of them were frozen solid to the ground. They were in very bad shape, and they thought they were dead. The rescuers thought they were dead, but apparently they were still alive. But when they tried to move Art, he died literally in their arms. And Red Hugh survived, and they took him down and warmed him up and stuff. But his long trek back to Ballyshannon and so on, an extraordinary human being. But now, just bear me with one other little story. These are stuff that comes out of these are stories that are well known by Irish kids, or used to be. I hope they still teach them. But one of the more interesting characters that I'd like to tell you about is a daughter of Red Hugh's. If I can just get the details of it, because you ladies will love this part. You will absolutely love it. Yeah. Rory had married Bridget, a daughter of the 12th Earl of Kildare. Everybody wanted to be married to a Kildare because, as you know, the Fitzgeralds, they were the royal family of Ireland. And they were Normans, but they had become more Irish than the Irish themselves. So as you know, Lord Edward Fitzgerald literally led the rebellion in 1798. So that the Fitzgeralds are revered in Irish history, right down through Ireland history, including their townhouses now, currently the Dáil, the House of Parliament in Dublin. So, as I said, the Earls of Kildare and unfortunately their home place in their castle is now a hotel. It's a 5-star hotel near Maynooth. Their daughter, Mary O'Donnell, 1608 to 49, was born in England after her father's escape to Rome. Now, we're talking about Rory O'Donnell. I guess I better. Rory O'Donnell became the O'Donnell at Kinsale when Red Hugh went to Spain and went back up to Donegal, to Tirconnell, to secure the homeland. So that decision would have been made by the O'Neills and the Downs and the Maguires and the O'Hagans and all that stuff down there. I'll say, so what are we going to do? They would have had a consular war. Anyway, so Rory is Red Hugh's brother, the guy who escaped, the one I just told you about. Well, he had married Bridget, but he was now the O'Donnell. And, of course, he was the Earl who escaped. Although Rory it's important that Red Hugh was not an earl. After the defeated Kinsale, the English tried to subdue them or cajole them. Rory O'Donnell submitted to the crown and accepted. He was made a knight and accepted the English title of Earl of Tirconnell. It wouldn't have meant anything to them, except that they did have to eat crow and survive. So it was Rory's brother who was the earl that fled in 1607. But I want to tell you this story about Rory's. After he had fled on the 12th of September 1607, that we're going to say, his wife had a baby in England. Now, that would be part of the reason why Rory would have submitted and accepted an earldom, because they would protect his wife and his wife. Although she was pregnant, she obviously wasn't. She was born in England. After her father's escape to Rome, James I gave her the royal name of Stuart, and she was known as Mary Stuart O'Donnell. Remember now, James had gone down. James the Sixth of Scotland had gone down. He was now king of England. James I of England after Elizabeth died. She was reared by Lady Kildare, her grandmother, who also chose a husband for her, but unfortunately he was not to the liking of Mary Stuart. Both she and her maid adopted male disguise and, accompanied by a manservant, planned their escape to Ireland. I mean, these are true stories, and these are straight out of, these would make great movies. Whenever her disguise aroused any suspicions, she allayed it by making passionate love to a girl or offering to fight a duel. Now, there was a lady that had the survival instinct in her. She wasn't going to be unbelievable. I thought you ladies might appreciate that as a way of proving that you're a man. I'd like to have seen that. You don't turn that off. She went to Brussels, continued on to Genoa, and married an O'Gallagher. When she was expecting her second child, she wrote in great distress to Cardinal Barberini, the last heard of this remarkable woman, that she was a widow living in Prague. So if any of you young Irish ladies out there watching this on YouTube want to become the next great Irish historian, research that lady and write a book about her. I think she's right up there with Eleanor of Aquitaine. So that's the note I'll finish on. First half. Thanks.
Wow. 8 more minutes.
How many? 8 more minutes?